Right, today, as I promised, I am going to review the Playground Rendezvous from Mei Leaf, and I wanted to tell you a couple of things. So, a couple of things might affect the taste of my tea and my experience, pretty much because Don from Mei Leaf used a different pot. He used Jiangsu pot. I am going to use the Zerni. I also have stored the tea in a cardboard box. I show you actually. I show you. So come with me. Right, that is my little tea cake box. I store my tea cakes in this cardboard box. I have a couple of papers here just to cover it from the dust. There's the tea. It has arrived, and it's already, obviously you can see the other tea cakes are aging there. I have the office gossip and I have canopy flasher there as well, aging there. I won't open it for like 10 years and I need a tea knife. So basically this tea has been here with me for quite a while. I left it in that box for a couple of weeks just to rest, and now I am going to dive into this. I like the artwork on it. It really pretty much it just shows that there are two different things meeting together in one tea, and they should balance each other out somewhat. Let me just move you here, move the camera down there a little bit, so you can see what I am doing with this tea. Right, this will be quite a long video, so please bear with me. Right, so the illustration is done by Celine. Oh, where is it? There. So you can see that, and let's see. So there it is. Oh, it smells completely different to any other ripened wort tea. Oh, it crumbled a bit. That makes life easier. Oh, quite a bit of chunk just fell out of it. So it's not really compressed that tightly, or it just didn't have the time to, you know, get compressed, or I don't know. But I never had tea that just fell apart like this. Anyway, so here it is, the color. I don't know how much of it can you see. So it is not that dark. It has quite a few brown leaves in. The mixture brownish, orangey leaves. Let's keep crumbling. The smell is completely different to the other ones. Let's just put this back so you can see me as well. Let me just take this so I can see what's going on. Right. I normally record these in the morning so I can open up the curtains and I have the morning sun coming in, but I was busy with adult stuff this morning, so I couldn't. Let's see. So, let's see how do they compare to this Playground Rendezvous Jungle Starlet, which is quite a thick tea, and it is very much darker. It has the same composition color wise, but it's just very much darker. And this Playground Rendezvous has a lighter smell way much lighter. The jungle starlet has very aged, very ripened smell to it. This one is quite light, and obviously it will be completely different to a raw pour. Yeah, it is something in between pretty much, so I'm really looking forward to this tea. Let's put these away quickly. What you need to know about this tea is, what does it say? I believe it's 1700 meters the elevation. Isn't that right? Yes, that's right. And the season is April and May 2019. Fermented in 2020, and it is fermented in black tea kombucha in barrels, in wooden barrels apparently, and this tea is from Bulang territory. And there's the usual guidance: 99 degrees water, 7 grams per 100 ml, 25 seconds for the first infusion, and then 5 seconds extra. And average number of it says average number of infusions now. Average number of infusions, they recommend 15. We will see. Right. Let's get the tea knife out and get the little tea scoop, because I don't measure tea anymore. I used to measure it with a scale, and it just wasn't great. Let me just adjust that camera just a little bit there, so my head is not chopped off in the video. Yeah, that looks better. Right, so pretty much I just use the tea scoop as a sort of measured amount with my eye. I don't tend to take every leaves apart. By the way, as far as I know, these leaves are buds and up to three leaves, I believe. The picking is buds and up to 3 leaves. So I normally don't take it so apart. So for example, I leave this chunk together because later on with the brews it just gets apart in the water and releases a bit more. So I will have a little bit, on average, a little bit more even experience, not just like the first 6 brews, just really big punch in the face and then it just dials down. So I have something there. Why did you flash at me? Okay, technology is a little bit weird today. I just had a phone call earlier. The phone was ringing, but it didn't show who's ringing. I couldn't even answer the phone. It was rather bizarre. Anyway, let's get this tea going. Oh, it's really easy to take it apart. Okay, so you don't need too much of an effort to take the cake apart. So just be careful with the amount of force that you are going to apply to the tea cake, because obviously if you just push it in too hard, then the whole tea cake will fall apart. Yeah, pretty much comes apart. As with every tea cake, I really wonder how will the tea age. Obviously, if you but you can't keep every tea cake for like 10, 15, 20 or even 40 years. So, but it's always an interesting thing to think about. Yeah, because I try to keep in mind how big is my pot. So I think that should be maybe a little bit more. Why not? So yeah, I used to measure the tea with the scale, but the scale just used to die. Well, the battery used to die in every 2 weeks. so it was pointless for me keep buying batteries, so I just use my eye as a measure. Let's see. I'll put it there. Trying to get everything out. I really should have that picking tray or whatever. That would make life a little bit easier. But I don't do that for whatever reason. Let's just pick a little bit more. Let's see what comes off at the edges. A little bit this, a little bit that. No more. So it's very easy to take it apart. It's very surprising. Yeah, that will be enough. I just take it into the T-scoop and I show you how it looks like. I will take a couple of pictures of it as well, a little bit of a close-up, and I will put it in the video so you will see the pictures, see a proper shot, because obviously my light here is not really strong and it's not really great. Once again, I don't live in a studio, I live in a house. I live in a home. Okay, let's put the tea knife away. Let's put this tea away. And then I start to set up my scene here. Obviously I'm going to have the tea towers here. I will have Birdzilla here, as I like to call it. Now hang on, there's a little bit of story here. Playground Rendezvous, unique experimental Haicha fermented tea, which has been made using gushu pickings from estimated 200-year-old tea trees growing in the forests of Bulang. The leaves have been barrel fermented in 2020 using Yunnan black tea kombucha. So it's quite a unique one. I mean, normally you ferment the tea in water, not in Yunnan black tea kombucha, which is fermented tea. So you ferment gushu leaves in fermented tea, which is kombucha, which is made out of Yunnan black tea. So this must be really special. And of course it says to learn more about this tea, visit our website, blah 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 blah. Right. Okay. Now, let me set up this scene here and let's get this party going. Whew. Right, so you might wonder, why do I have all of this stuff here, these extra stuff? Plantation rum, tisserano, fennel seeds, cardamom pods, star anise. Tell you why. Because obviously in the video that Don made, he was saying that the tea reminded him of wooden barrels, the cask, the dark rum, sweetness, dark sugar, bit of fennel seeds, cardamom pods, licorice. Now I don't have licorice, but I do have star anise, which is not too far off from licorice. And he also said that he, well, the combination of all of these and the herbaceousness. Herbaceousness? Look how sophisticated we are getting on this channel. Herbaceousness. So, combination of all of these and the herbaceousness of the tea reminded him of unicum, which is actually pronounced unicum in Hungary. It is a dark liquor made out of lots of herbs. That's the basic you need to know. If you want to know more, just put it in Wikipedia and you will find the details. But anyway, that was the main thing why I bought this tea. Because I really wanted to see if it does the herbaceousness does it remind me of the Hungarian liquor Unicum. So, and this is why I have a couple of extra bits here, because as I will smell it, taste it, whatsoever, I will have a little bit of a comparison to see if I can get those things out of the tea. And yeah, this is why I have these here, not because I'm going to drink these instead of the tea, obviously not. But I just wanted to have these here as a bit of guidance to see if I can pick fennel seeds up. Cardamom pods he didn't mention, but as I smell cardamom pods, it might become handy. But let's see if I can, what I can pick up on this tea. And let me just boil the kettle, come back, and warm everything up, do the usual thing, and yeah. Right, so I have the kettle here. I did not exactly boil the water, but it was just about to boil. Let's take this away, move this about, warm these things up. Don't use too much water here, just a little bit to warm it up. You don't really need much. Heats up quite quickly. Let's just put a bit this way as well to warm it up this way as well. Whee! Right. I have a tea towel there, so I use my jeans to wipe my hand. Brilliant. Anyway, warm this up. I like to pour it directly on the filter as well, on the metal bit of the filter, so that warms up as well. And let's just keep it there. So, as I said, this tea is quite like brownish, dark brown, but mainly orangey color. The leaves, they are. Let's see if I put them in to the hot churny pot. What will I grasp smell wise? Oh, a couple of leaves found their way down in the tray. Right. Ow. There. Put it back. Okay. Let's put this there. I have notes actually, because I made notes. I made notes about Don's video, and I have here what he was claiming to smell on the dry leaves. He was saying some sort of sugar, dark sugar, and that kind of sweetness. The oak casks, aged rum, maple syrup, rich tea biscuit, and licorice. So let's put this away before I knock it over. Let's see if it smells that way. Okay. You know what? It does. It bloody does. I am impressed now. This is right. So I can get those oak casks. I can get them definitely distinguishable. I can get those rummy notes. You know, these. Hang on. Let's see. So not the alcohol itself. Maybe not the plantation rum. This is why I have the Disaronno here, because Disaronno is quite a sweet drink, but it's not this kind of sweetness. It's not Disaronno sweetness, no. It's more like those rum notes. Oh, this is nice. yeah, those dark aged rum notes. That's the one that is there with the casks. Oh, this is nice. I could smell this all day long. Right, if it tastes nice as well, I'm definitely going to buy another keg or two. It's just really nice. Yeah, the sweetness comes through as well. Sweetness, the wood and the rum, and the two combined, it's just the three combined, it's just brilliant. It's not too strong, so the smell is not strong. It's not harsh. It's really well balanced. It's just really nice. It's just there. Imagine that if I would leave this bottle open and I would just leave it there, and you would just walk about in the room and you could smell that smell lingering in the room. It's that kind of softness. So it's not harsh, and it's still. I mean, it's cold now. This is really cold now, and the smell still comes through. Oh, this is brilliant. This is quite a shocker. This is a surprise. I wasn't expecting, because obviously I'm a little bit skeptical all the time. Let's give these water to the dragons and the water buffalo. Obviously I'm always a little bit skeptical because I know that they are trying to sell tea. That's how they make their living. And but this is just brilliant. Let's do very quick rinse, very quick rinse. He also said with the wet leaves, it should come up like custardy, pecan pie. Never had pecan pie, so custard should, and creaminess of custard should come in into the notes. Let's see. Okay, there is some sort of freshness there, little bit of spiciness coming through. Oh, that's strange. That's nice, in a good way strange. Okay, I got the first whiff, and that creaminess is there. The creaminess, the wood, and I believe if you have ever had kombucha before, you know that there is this fizziness, this strange fermented smell to it, taste to it. That comes through, and I believe that's really what really makes the difference here, because that kombucha made from the black tea and fermented this tea, that's what it really makes the difference. And that's, you can really get the wood, you can get the creaminess, the sweetness. And the dried wood ethic, I know, yeah, whatever he said in that video, it applies. This is a banger. This is really good. I'm trying to shake it about so I can get all the leaves to get a little bit of air, and the smell just comes out a bit better. Let's see how it changes as it cools down. So obviously, when you get the first whiff, that spiciness, kombucha-ness, and that creaminess comes in, and then as you keep sniffing it, the woodiness and the rum notes stay there, and I just can't stop smelling this. It's really good. Oh, this is really good. I'm really looking forward to this. Come on, water buffalo. You haven't had anything like this before. There you go. Little dragon as well. And the other one. Right, let's do the first brew. Ooh, I am really looking forward to this. And because I have the tea tray here, I can be a little bit messy. Right, I have no idea of the seconds as always, because I'm focused on pouring the water in, and yeah, I lost track of it. Just leave it in, I don't know, maybe 5-6 more seconds, and let's see. You know what, I'm not even going to use this filter. Don't worry about the filter, chuck it there. Yep. Let's see the color. So as I said, the tea taste might be affected by the fact that I am not using exactly the same teapot as Don has, because I am using Tony. He used the Jersha set, and it's a little bit different. Oh, there's a bit of rogue leaf there. There you go. And yeah. It's really nice. Anyway, so the liquor. This is the first brew, and as I said in the last video, the first brew is, yeah, okay. It's really the second and the third when it starts kicking in. But anyway, it is fairly dark, I would say. It depends on where you are looking from. Well, I have very strong light there, so it comes through. But yeah, it has this cherry red, orangey color to it, and I actually have white t-shirt on. Because if I zoom in, I can show it against my t-shirt. There. So I have white t-shirt, and that's the color. It's very dark, but it's quite a nice cherry orangey color to it. Right, let's zoom out and put the jumper back because it's a little bit cold in here. And right. So let's see, how does it taste? What's the texture like? Because what Don was saying, sorry about this, I just have to put something on because it's a little bit chilly here. So Don was saying he reckons this is a medium thick tea, and he also said it's soft and lubricating and refreshing brightness. Okay, let's wipe the bottom of it. Okay, I might need a little bit more leaves into the teapot to make it a bit thicker. But yeah, I would say, yeah, medium probably, but this is the first brew and I don't have many leaves, too much leaves in the teapot. I could have put in a little bit more. Never mind. Yeah, I would say it's, but once again the teapot must affect it as well. I would say medium texture, depending on the leaves, and it is fairly lubricating. I would say it's soft. Yeah, and it's it has that kind of, as you have it on your tongue, it has that kind of freshening feeling to it. Right, let's go to taste. So, here it comes when it's a little bit of crucial, isn't it? So, he said he can taste pretty much everything what's in the smell, plus spices, licorice, fennel, overripe mango, preserved plum, Chinese herbs, and all of these combinations reminded him to unicum. Is that true? In my point of view, I can definitely taste the wood. The wood is definitely there. That's the main thing here. Once again, this is the first brew. This is the first brew, and obviously in the first brew the leaves haven't really opened up properly yet. It will take a couple of brews until it really gives what it has. But apart from the wood, I can't really pick up much. I mean, I can taste there's lots going on, but it's really hard for me to separate it from one to one. But there is definitely that what I can taste is the spiciness, those herbs, combination of herbs. That's what I can pick up on. I can't tell if it would remind me definitely of fennel seed. Let's just open it up. No. Obviously, I can't smell the taste and I can't taste the smell. But I can say that there is definitely something because of these herbs, herb taste notes that can remind you of fennel seeds. I wouldn't put any in my mouth just now. So it would remind you of fennel seeds, and there is that on the top of your palate there is this buzziness. It's buzzy feeling. Same sort of feeling that probably you would get from some sort of peppery something. Oh, definitely I can't smell or taste anything like sterilies, which would remind me a little bit of licorice, but this is the closest thing I have to licorice. So, but I can't really pick up licorice in a sense of being as a dominant taste. Definitely not. No, really? It is still recording. Right, sorry about that, there's a little bit of technology issue here. So, as I sorted out the technology issue, right, so what I can do, I can brew it again, but this time I will brew it a little bit longer. pour it a little bit over, warm this baby up. I'm going a little bit hardcore today. Right. Okay, phone is playing up. That's what controls the camera. I forgot about the seconds. Probably I overbrewed it quite a lot. So this is the second brew. Although it probably has been a minute or so since I had the last bit in my mouth, I can still have those peppery feeling, those kind of minty freshness on top of my mouth. It's quite unique and strange. Let's see if the smell is still there. Yeah, the smell. Second brew, woody, rum, sweetness, bit of creaminess. I wouldn't say vanilla custard, but there is something going on that might remind you of vanilla custard. The smell is just incredible. Right, the second brew way much darker. I can't really see through now. I put it against that really strong light and then I can see a little bit of redness, but this is, if I just look at it this way, it's dark. It's really dark brown, orangey, reddish, but it's really dark. Anyway, so this is the remnants of the first brew. Go on, second brew, impress me. Right. Now, because of that pepperiness, because of that herbaceousness, it can remind you of the Hungarian liquor unicum. What else did he pick up on? He was saying, oh, it's wet here, preserved plum. I'm not really sure what is a preserved plum, but I would assume probably something like prunes, something, I don't know, but I can't pick that one up just yet. But the tea, obviously, because I overbrewed it a little bit, it definitely thickened up. As I said in the last video, first brew, yeah, it's okay. Second brew is when it really hits you, when it's really start to thicken up, start to show itself, because in the first brew it just starts to open up a little bit. You just get to know each other with the tea, you know. And the second brew, it's like the second date, you know a little bit more about each other, you open up a little bit. And this peppery, herbaceous feeling stays in my mouth. That's what it just stays there. And I reckon it's because of the fact that they used kombucha as a fermenting substance, and because of that if you just have kombucha on its own, it has that kind of poppy, fizzy feeling that it leaves in your mouth. But because they combined it with this tea, and it's just brilliant. It turns something into, it's just brilliant. It's quite a unique tea. And as I hold it in my mouth and try to inhale a bit of air and exhale it through my nose, those slightly charred wood barrels notes are there, and they were in my mouth as well. Those woody notes, those, but not that kind of woody that wet woods. It's more like those dry wood, something that is seasoned. So this is why I'm referring to barrels, which then disappears and then goes into this the herbs just coming through. You have to be really quick, because obviously as you swallow the tea, you have the woodiness turns into something quickly and then leaves the herbaceousness in your mouth. And obviously you can't just swallow it slowly like 10 minutes. So you have to really grasp that change if you want to see more depth into the taste. It is quite a nice tea. So yeah, so as I have it in my mouth, it's woody, barrel-like, with lots of other lingering thing, but the woodiness is the main thing. And as you swallow it, the woodiness disappears, turns into a little bit sweet, like a little bit of rum, and then it leaves the it just lubricated my mouth and just leaves the herbs in, just leaves it there. And obviously as it cools down, I use obviously, but obviously I use it too much. Sorry about that. But as the tea cools down, those herbs, they are not just in your face immediately. It just dials down a little bit. And yeah, I do like this spot. This is a really nice spot. What do you reckon? Is it hot enough? Let's turn it on again. So, until the kettle boils, let's just carry on with this. So, star anise, no, but that kind of strength is there. So star anise, no. Licorice, I don't have any, as I said. Disaronno, sweetness, yes. The taste, because obviously Disaronno much more like almondy. Taste is definitely not, but the sweetness is kettle boiled. Plantation rum, 5 years aged plantation rum, Barbados rum. Mind you, this is a double cask rum. It reminds you of the rum, but without the alcohol. You know that alcohol smell. So if you take away the alcohol smell, the rum is there. Even though it's cold now, I can hold it with my hand. It's cold, but the barrel and the rum theme is going on. Actually, cardamom pods. No, cardamom pods is just too strong. No, there is nothing that reminds. I thought maybe I can use it because of the strengtheners, but it's just not, definitely not there. Fennel seeds. Yeah, it's more like in a sense, because the fennel seeds are way much more dialed down compared to cardamom pods, so it's just smaller and it's more of that fibery notes. So it's a little bit more warmth. There's more warmth in the fennel seeds than in the cardamom pods. Cardamom pods is just harsh, and because of this woody, it's just brilliant. This they have done it really well. They have done it really well. Let me just get the water. There's the water. Let's do the third brew. Put the lid on. Pour it all over. So, yes. Don't know the second. As always, let's just start the stopwatch. And not that one. Yeah, let's start this. No. If I do. So third brew. So that should be 30 seconds. Why isn't it working? 30 seconds, but I already took like 10. So let's make it 20 more seconds. And yeah, so what I was trying to say with the fennel seeds and cardamom pods is that the fennel seeds, this little fibery, warm notes, it is there. Oh, time is over. Let's see, roughly 30 seconds altogether. Right, the second brew was properly overbrewed because the color is lighter on the third brew, but it wasn't harsh. There is no minerality to the tea. There is no minerality whatsoever. Oh, this is hot. I just love the smell, but not the heat in my thumb. Ow. Right, so the color is nearly as dark as the second brew. Second brew was properly overbrewed. Let's see, what do I have here? Right. What I would say, boiling water is too harsh. I won't use boiling water next time. I would say 95 degrees. Don't go further away than 95, 97 degrees. Obviously, you just do it by the air. So before the kettle would boil, just as it would start to boil, but it's not really boiling, turn it off. Just turn it off. Don't boil the water. Don't put boiling water on it. It's just not good. Because all you have here now, all I have is that heat. It just ruins the taste. Yeah, don't use boiling water on it. I just made this mistake, so let it cool down a little bit. Maybe it helps. Somewhat. Right, so I should have definitely used a little bit more leaves. I should have used a bit more leaves, and for me I would brew it a little bit longer. So probably I won't get 15 brews out of this tea. I would probably get personally 12-ish, just because I'm a little bit overbrewing this tea. Well, I'm going to. Just because of the pure enjoyment. Because at the moment I brewed it for 30 seconds. In the third brew I can't pick up as much of a taste as with the second one. So I have to brew it a bit longer. And I will have to use a little bit more leaves. So I would say that 7 gram is about okay. Yeah. So obviously the taste is affected by the pot. It is affected by the temperature, the amount of leaves, and it is affected by the amount of leaves is affected by how big is your pot. Because this one is like, I don't know, 130 ml pot, something like that. But if I have a bigger pot, obviously I will need more leaves. So all of these ratios, the water, the 7 grams, 200 ml, I would say it's alright. And I would say this is quite a digestive tea as well. So if you have a big meal, go for it. Have a really big meal, big pot of something, or just a big steak or anything really that sits in your stomach, then have this tea. Because obviously, or any ripe and pour any ripe tea, because or kombucha, because it helps digesting. This is why it is called digestive. Right, let it cool down a little bit, so it's easier for me to drink it. Everything is there, but it's less strong, obviously, because I didn't brew it as much. So I didn't get much out of the third brew. So I would say use plenty of leaves, brew it in a little bit colder water than boiling, don't use boiling water, and feel free to overbrew it. I won't put more water in because I don't know how big is my tray. Oh, there are some rogue leaves here. There. I leave that there because that's the third brew. I will brew this, I don't know, for another, you know what, because this teapot can take it, I will brew it for another 40 seconds from now. I don't know what was that. So I will brew it for another 40 seconds. I'm very happy with this tea. And if you think about the price, 69 quid for this cake. It's not too bad, 200 gram cake. And you know, even if you divide it by 10 grams, if you use 10 grams per brews, that's quite a lot. But if you use 10 grams, that's 20 times. And if depending on how many you get out, let's say you get out 15 brews each session. So 10, so that's 150 brews. For, hang on, no, 20, 100, no, it's 3, hang on, I'm getting confused. So 200 gram cake divided by the 10 grams, so that's 20 times 15, so that's 300 brews, and the time is off. So 300 brews easily out of a cake. Obviously, if you use smaller amount of leaves, you get even more out. So, but even if you just use the 300 as a basement, 300 brews out of the 200 gram cake, and you divide the 69 by 300, even if you just divide it by 100, that's 69 pence divided by 3, that's like 20, less than 20p, I guess. I don't know, I got my numbers messed up. Anyway, I have the tea here, fourth brew. Color is the same, it's not lighter. So this is the third brew, this is the fourth brew. Yeah. Let's see how it compares to the fourth. Obviously, because I overbrewed it a little bit, it's much stronger. But once again, it's not harsh. everything is there, what I just said. It just keeps going on. I can already feel this little bit of stimulating feeling, this little bit of getting active, not like when you jab yourself with caffeine, pure caffeine or something. It's not that kind of woo, but it gives you that kind of buzziness a little bit. I wouldn't say as much as the day drinking diva. I haven't realized at the time how much buzziness I got from the day drinking diva, but this definitely starts to get going and get you going. And yeah, as Don said, you can keep drinking it because it's not bitter, it's not mineral, it's not harsh, and obviously if you just have chat conversation, it just keeps it going. It just keeps it going. Obviously, as it makes you feel a little bit buzzier, and you can carry on chatting. Yeah, those herb notes, they are the more dominant theme now. Actually, I let the water cool down there a little bit. Let's see if I use a little bit colder water, how then colder probably. I don't know how cold it will be, but I'm just experimenting here with the temperature. But yeah, and as Don said, these woozy feeling. So it makes you active, but it gives you a little bit of lightheaded feeling, as well as the heat and all of these freshy. I wouldn't say minty fresh, but definitely those peppery, popping feelings. It just makes you a little bit more active, but as it makes you a little bit light-headed, obviously not as light-headed as alcohol would make you, but it gives you that kind of light-headed, active feeling. It's really an interesting tea. Look, what I will do, because this is the fourth brew, I will carry on drinking this tea. I don't know, maybe 3 more brews, and then I will draw a final conclusion on this tea. And yeah, so I will be back in a minute. Right, so I have made 3 more brews. I have been savage to this tea. I have brewed it for 50 seconds each time. I have been savage to this tea. Obviously the color lightened up a little bit, and I used a little bit cooler water as well. That didn't really suit it, so I just went with off the boil 95 degrees water, guessing here, because that would suit it a bit better. It would give the poppiness a little bit more oomph if you use higher temperatures, but I wouldn't recommend boiling water. No. 95 max, but definitely at least 90 degrees. So off the boil, just before it would boil, turn the kettle off. Right, so I have brewed it a couple of times, and obviously I made a couple of calculations, and yes, I was right. If you use 10 grams per brew, you can get 300 brews out of it, and pretty much that comes up roughly 23p per brew. But obviously if you use the 7 gram recommended amount out of 200 gram cake, that will give you 428 brews, and that brings the price down to 16 pence per brew, which is quite alright, I guess. It's not and obviously if you lower the amount, you will get more cost efficient, but cost efficiency is not the theme of drinking tea. So this must be I believe the 8th brew or something, and I was savage to this tea. The pot works very well. It's not bitter at all. As I said, 50 seconds each brew. I was ruthless, and it works well. Even the color, it's now quite this cherry red. It's something that you would expect from a black tea, a really nice black tea. This color, this is really, it's red. It's that cherry red color. It's brilliant, and it looks really nice against the black tray. And I have been brewing this savagely, and it's still okay. Obviously the taste dials down with all of this savageness, but what remains, even after I just finished a cup that was running around putting bottles away and whatnot, that little pepperiness stays on the top of your the tip of your tongue. It just stays there, that little pepperiness, and it just makes you a little bit more active and a little bit buzzy poppy. So this is definitely not a sleeping tea. Don't drink it before you go to bed, because you are not going to go to bed. And what I am going to do, I will make one more brew out of this for the sake of the video, and I will do it a little bit more savagely, because obviously I brewed it for 50 seconds. Let's brew this for oops, now just give it 1 minute brew, and this will be the last one. So if you use a little bit more leaves than I did, so the 7 grams per 100 ml, definitely I still have that peppery poppiness here on here, right there on my tongue. It's just pop 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 pop. It's yeah, it's really awakening, give you a little bit of light-headed wooziness, but it makes you active. And yeah, I'm quite surprised about this tea, and the smell as well. It was just incredible. So what I will do, I will probably get another cake, which I am just going to keep and age with the rest in that box that you have seen at the beginning of the video, and I probably won't touch it for at least 10 years. I just age it there, let it just relax there. 1 minute is over. Let it just relax there, age for at least 10 years, and then I will review how my aging process worked on the tea, because obviously you saw how I keep it in a cardboard box with other tea cakes, and I keep the cardboard box in a cupboard, and relative humidity is around 50-60%. See what happens in 10-15 years time. Right, so the color, let's show it against something white somewhere here in it. So the color lightened up quite significantly, but it's still quite dark, and the leaves obviously opened up as much as they possibly can, but the smell is still there. After being savage to this tea, brewing it like crazy, those barrel notes are still there, and a bit of sweetness. Not as much of rum now, but more of the wood barrel sides of the notes. Maybe a little bit of creamy, sweety, rich tea, biscuity note. Still lingering there, but the main theme here is the wood barrel. So 9 brews, brewed savagely. Yeah, if you keep it sensible, 7 grams, 8 grams per 100 ml. And if you keep the brews sensible, then you can definitely get out 15 brews out of this tea. I mean, this is the 9th brew, and the color is still great. Let's see how it tastes. Still, yeah, it's really nice cherry red still. brilliant. I'm still getting the wood, not as much of the herbaceousness, but after the finished, as I said, this popping feeling is still there. Yes, definitely. This tea does worth the price. I don't know how Mei Leaf guys are going to experiment with this tea, or if they are going to keep it ripening in kombucha or for longer, or how they are going to do it. But if there will be a second version of this tea, a slightly different method or whatsoever, I will definitely try that one as well. And yeah, hopefully there will be a sample pack available of that second version of that tea, because I can't just keep buying tea cakes. So it would be a little bit more cost efficient, you know, just to buy a sample for the review, which wasn't the case this time. But I do not regret buying this tea. I don't regret buying this tea. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say really. Keeps you busy, keeps you active. There's herbaceousness, which can remind you of the Hungarian unicum drink. Everything I said, it's just brilliant tea. So I am definitely going to buy another cake, and because I'm really happy with this tea. That's all I'm going to say. So thank you very much if you have watched this very lengthy video, and yeah, see you next time. Also, I am not going to make more videos this year. 2021 is finished. This is the last video. I probably will see you mid or end of January next time with something a little bit different. Right, see you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and see you next time.